Okay, so what am I doing here? I am really excited, obviously having a lot of fun with this thing. I am playing music through VCV Rack, and this device called the Leap Motion, which is here. It's this tiny infrared camera that's meant to sit in front of your computer. And actually, it's quite old. I don't remember the year on this now, but it's been like 10 years. Let's see the date. Okay, not written on it. 10, 12 years, maybe longer. And it's been sitting on my shelf for a long time, and the company kind of disappeared for a while, and the software was old and it didn't exist. And then miraculously, a couple summers ago, they released a new API, and I downloaded the software, and voila, it worked. So very quickly, I'll give you a preview. You can see this is called Ultra Leap control panel that I'm running here in the background. You can see my hand tracking that it's doing. And then I have another software that I'm standing kind of right behind. There we go. Called Gecko. And that software is taking all of the data from the Ultra Leap, and it's turning it into MIDI messages, which I have specifically programmed. This is an app that I just got from the App Store. And I'm taking all of that MIDI data and sending it over to VCV Rack here. So you can see this patch has gotten somewhat complicated. But at the top, let me mute this for a second. At the top, you can see some VCAs. Zoom in quick. As I'm moving, so here's my right hand, you can see that data tracking in VCAs for my x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, forward and back, roll, pitch, and yaw here. I have that for both hands coming in. And I'm just taking that data straight in and controlling a bunch of different musical parameters. So I'm going to demo what is happening in each hand here. Turn it up a little bit more than that. Okay. So in my right hand, I have these drums, and the X and Y is changing the tempo. Okay. I said X and Y, I lied. It's the X position right here is changing the tempo, and then the Y position is changing the volume. Okay, and then I have here an instrument that you can't hear unless you push forward and grab it. So it's there, so I can keep my drums if I want. Grab that instrument, and then here I can control the pitch by X position, or I can roll for a filter. See, it gets much brighter. So that's fun. So I wanted that to be an optional instrument, and I used this spatial break here of forward and back, where you're not going to hear any sound, no volume from that instrument here if the hand is behind a certain threshold. Okay, so that's my right hand. On my left hand, I also have Y as volume. And this is our kind of chords, background chords. X is the chord progression. So as I slowly move here, it walks through the chord progression. And then also I have an instrument in my roll here. There's a brightness control on those chords as I reach forward. And then finally I have a filter, just a cutoff filter attached to the yaw here, so that I can just whoosh into the sound. Okay, so really my point here of this video is not to get into any of the details of how this is actually working in VCV Rack, but to just show you some of the potential of taking these 6 degrees of motion and mapping them to different musical parameters of pitch, quantized pitch, of tempo, of filters, and this is just one setup, one composition, like one song, and I could have a completely different setup for a different performance. There's also amazing possibilities for performing with this thing actually with your own setup, right? So maybe you've got your MIDI keyboard already, you can add this to your setup and have a little filter just by reaching over and pushing your hand forward. It's super fun to play with, and I hope that this has been fun and inspiring, and let me know if you have one of these to dust off of your shelf and you start making something interesting with it.